Sports Illustrated, Ryan Phillips. First off, I love the first name, buddy. I love the first name. Naming the most important free agent each NFL team lost this offseason. And I'll be honest with you, I kind of peeked ahead and cheated here to see who it was. And no, it's in no way the guy you think it was. I promise you it's not. It's not going to be Mike Hilton, which I think arguably he would be on the top of the list of most important free agents we lost. Just for his leadership skills, his run support skills, his tackling skills. That's the only reason why I would say him would be the only one like that we lost that. Other than that, Keem Davis-Gaither, losing him definitely sucks. Obviously, he got paid to go to the Cardinals, but the Cardinals are really just stealing all of our players. I'm just realizing this now. Outside of that, though, there really isn't anyone else that we lost that I'm like, oh, dang, that's the biggest loss of all time. So, it now becomes a trilogy. Is it going to be Trent Brown, Sheldon Rankins, or it's actually kind of it. That's kind of it, actually, for players we lost. So let's talk about this. Arizona Cardinals, defensive tackle, they lost. Okay. Falcons lost their center, Drew Dahlman. I agree. Ravens lost Patrick McCurry. Didn't they? No, they didn't re-sign him. They re-signed Patrick Ricard. But they did lose him, which actually is a huge loss because he can kind of play every single position for them on the offensive line. He's like a Cody Ford type. He's like a Swiss Army knife. So that is actually a huge loss. The Bills lost Mac Hollins. Carolina Panthers lost Johnny Hecker, the punter. I kind of think the Bills' biggest loss was them signing. Brad Robbins. I'm sorry, the Brad Robbins slander will stop. It really won't, but that's beside the point. Chicago Bears, their biggest loss was Coleman Shelton, their center. Okay. Now, they did actually pick up a center, so they did replace him very quickly, so they got the Falcons center. Yeah, Trent Brown. Trent Brown's our biggest loss. You know, I don't think he was even top 5 on my list of biggest losses, and we only lost like 5 players. Here's what I'll say, right? We picked up Trent Brown with the idea that he was going to potentially get injured because we knew he had an injury history. So we picked him up with the understanding that it might happen. We didn't want it to happen. We expected it not to happen, but we understood it might happen. With that being said, he was supposed to be the starter and Mims was going to be the backup. Eventually, the idea was Mims would take over this upcoming season and Trent Brown would be either released to free agency or we'd bring him back on a know-nothing deal as a backup. Because of his injury history, I don't really think it's a loss that we lost him. I know the Texans signed him back to a 1-year contract, and shout out to the Texans because for some reason, you guys love our sloppy seconds, and it's not even a joke at this point. Like, you guys are literally the Arizona Cardinals of the NFL for the AFC at this point. The Cardinals of the NFC loves the Bengals sloppy seconds. The AFC are the Texans. But again, like I said, even before he got hurt, he wasn't really that great. He really wasn't. So it's like he was kind of mediocre before he gets hurt. He gets hurt, and then he's out for the season. It's not a loss. I'm sorry, but him and Sheldon Rankins in the end are not losses. Wow, that sucks that they left, but it's not really that big of a deal. I'll be honest, I'd probably rather draft a tackle or maybe give Jackson Kirkland a chance over Trent Brown at that point. Now, if we brought him back, I wouldn't have minded. Now, we would have brought him back for a no-nothing contract, let's be honest. But he would have had to compete with another player like maybe Jackson Kirkland. And, yeah, he might have lost his backup job anyway. So, it is an interesting situation. I think he would have been better with Scott Peters than Frank Pollock. I think that's definitely a situation you could say. But I mean, Frank Pollock is not the reason why he got injured. Frank Pollock is not the reason why, he can't stay healthy throughout his career. So, I'm not losing sleep over losing Trent Brown. I'm losing sleep over the fact that we still don't have any offensive guards, and we lost Kappa. We cut Kappa, which, to be honest, wasn't really that much of a loss. In reality, it's not, because he wasn't good, but it is a loss as in the fact of we don't have a starting right guard right now. That's a loss. But, yeah, Trent Brown's not really, it's not a loss. I need guards right now. I have Mims at right tackle. We can get someone else to back him up. We can get someone else to back up left tackle. What I don't have are guards. So, instead of worrying about Trent Brown, I think right now the biggest issue is guards. But Dalvin Tomlinson, defense tackle for the Brownies. Okay. Dallas Cowboys, they lost their corner. Broncos lost their linebacker. This was actually a huge loss. The Detroit Lions, they did lose Carlton Davis. But then they signed DJ Reed in free agency. So it kind of made up for it in a way. Eric Stokes is huge loss for the Packers. But then they also might trade away Jaheir Alexander. So that's also another potential loss too. I really think the biggest loss for the Texans, I guess this is free agency. So you can't say them trading away their left tackle. Okay. Yeah, never mind. This is the biggest loss for the Colts, not because the fact they lost their guard. It's because they lost a guy named Fries. And that's always a loss. Evan Ingram, Chiefs lost Justin Reed. Didn't they? Oh, no, the Jacksonville. No. The Saints got Justin Reed. The Saints ended up signing Justin Reed. And you know how I know this, by the way? The only reason why I know Justin Reed signed with the Saints is because Tom Grossi's video. That's the main reason why I remember he signed with the Saints, is because Tom Grossi. Cooper Kupp went ahead and left the Rams. I don't think that's a huge loss, to be honest, just because they were trying to get rid of him. So I look at it like, is it a huge loss is in the aspect of them losing Cooper Kupp? Yes, but he does have a lot of injury concerns. But it's also not a huge loss because they were trying to get rid of him. There was someone, they told him to go out and shop options, right? Go out there and try to get another team to want you. Vikings losing Sam Darnold. I don't think this is that much of a loss. They got J.J. McCarthy for the future. They're kind of gearing toward that direction. It is just the passage of time. The Patriots losing Jacoby Brissett. All right. Guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll be honest with you. Again, like I said, I think it's funny because our biggest loss ends up being Alex Kappa. Oh, man. It ends up low-key being Alex Kappa. But it's not. But it is, because we don't have a guard. And Kappa at least was a starting guard. He was horrendous, but he might have been better with Scott Peters. See, now, it's always the what-ifs. I'll see you guys next one.